with Squat Life Interviews. This is episode 1. In episode 1, our guest is Dave Keilman. Dave's quite an accomplished powerlifter. Some of you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with him. And let's help spread the word and get all of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube's land familiar with Dave Keilman. What comes to mind as Dave's best powerlifting accomplishment is he's a top 10 ranked, I don't know the exact position right now, but squatter, the 275 class, I believe, Dave. He's on an 805 squat, belt and sleeves only, so partially equipped, somewhat raw. Dave's also the owner of Barbell 413 in North Aurora, Illinois, one of the top powerlifting gyms in the nation, no doubt. So that's my introduction for Dave Keilman. I've got some questions for Dave. I've got to train with him and work with him over the course of the last few years. And I know Dave's a veteran, but I don't know that much about your military background, Dave. What can you share with us about that?
I served in the U.S. Army from 2002 to 2007. Did a tour in Korea for 18 months and in Iraq from 2006 to 2007.
Cool. How did that experience impact your life? That's a pretty big question, but one of the most noteworthy impacts that it's had, from being a veteran serving like that. How has it affected your life since your service?
Well, it makes you appreciate all the little things for sure. When you're out there in Iraq and there's nothing but sand and dead bodies, you kind of have an appreciation for what we have here in America.
Sure.
Just the little things. And then it also helps with training too. You know, when things get tough in training, when you feel your body reaching its limits, you just keep going because you know it ain't that bad. You're going to sleep at home tonight.
Cool. That actually was going to be my next question. Is how has it affected your lifting? You already answered that question. What are some highlights of your service in the Army, Dave?
Actually, some of my highlights are actually some of my failures. I tried out for Special Forces Assessment and Selection when I was 21. I went twice. I never quit, but I failed the land navigation part. It's by far the hardest land nav course in the military, with the exception of Delta Force. So I certainly take pride in knowing that what I am capable of physically, and with the sheer will that I know that I have.
Yeah, there's something to be said about finding out when you are good or not good enough for a certain thing. That's such a gosh darn elite level qualification, man. It's actually an honor just to give it your all and go after something like that, from my perspective. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Couple more questions focused specifically on your powerlifting or lifting. I got 3: escape, art, and sport. Do any of those 3 things make sense to you in terms of what lifting is to you? Is it an escape? Is it part art? Or is it purely a sport?
I think it's all 3. It's definitely, obviously a sport for pure competitive reasons. It brings out the best in everybody as they're trying to be the best version of themselves and trying to ultimately beat the person next to them in their weight class or in the entire competition. And what else did you say there was?
Art.
Art. As far as art, you just look at technique. Everybody has their own technique as to what works best for them based on their body, based on leverages. You, for example, are an excellent deadlifter. You got a perfect body to pull some serious weight. And I'm the opposite.
Sure.
Little T-Rex arms. It makes it a little difficult, but squatting is my strength.
Absolutely, man. No doubt you got a badass squat.
So it just everybody has to find what works for them ultimately.
Sure. How about the escape aspect? Because I know to me, it's always, since I was a kid, getting out of that iron, and whether it's a heavy single or just the entire workout in and of itself, whatever else is going on in life, to me at least, when you can get lost in that workout and just, get those endorphins pumping and feel that adrenaline like coursing through your veins, to me that's always been an awesome escape from just life in general.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it's just more of life. I don't know. What's your take on the escape aspect of it?
I consider it a bunch of things. I call it a training high. When you reach that, you just go into the zone, and especially if you accomplish your goals for the day, if you hit a new PR, you're just feeling just good from the entire session itself. You just get this overall sense of accomplishment and the sense of you're not just doing this just to be fit. I mean, you're doing this to be a monster. You're doing this to be something special, something that not a whole lot of people can do or have the ability and will to do.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot come and go over the years, man. It's not for everyone, and ultimately everyone goes. But you know, hitting those elite level numbers, it is quite a different experience than just rush, at least from what I've seen. So I know anyone that has hit some of those earth-shattering weights like yourself has to do it their own way. So, like changing gears a little bit. Who are a couple of your favorite athletes, whether powerlifting or not powerlifting related? Like, who are some athletes you've looked up to over the years, Dave?
Well, starting with powerlifting, I got to go with Ed Cohen. Just what he was able to accomplish at the per pound per weight class is just astonishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a reason he's considered the best of all time. It just is. So Ed Cohen, as far as non-power, or Andre Milanichev too. I love watching his squats. His impressive.
So I didn't get a chance to meet the man in person last year at the Arnold. What an absolute animal! Mm-hmm. Wow, is he a powerful human being?
Yeah. And I'd love to see him in person and watch him compete sometime. And non-powerlifting, you gotta like the mentality that Walter Payton had. He's over there on the offense, but he's gonna make you pay for it on the defense.
Sure.
You lower that helmet, deliver the blow. Don't just sit there and take it. Make them pay and attack whatever's trying to get you. And it's just an excellent mentality to have, not just in sports but in life.
Sure. And I think as a powerlifter, it makes total sense because if you don't go out and fully attack that lift, it ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah, so
You gotta have the right mentality
for sure.
or it will crush you.
How about this, Dave? Let's talk. You touched on it earlier. Highs and lows. You talked about one of your biggest lows actually being a great memory for what it represented. Going for that special forces. Are there any other lows or highs in life that you'd like to share with us that have been a big impact?
Yeah, well, certainly there's a lot of lows lately with some personal things that have gone on. Starting with a divorce and trying to get my child back for parental reasons. I mean, there's a slew of rough patches. My mom passed this past year. I mean, there's just a lot of downs that have been kind of kicked me, but because of training, helps me keep my head above water and zero in focus on the weight and take out a lot of aggression and reverse that downward cycle that life keeps giving you.
Okay. How about some highs? Give me an accomplishment that first comes to mind, Dave, of yours.
Highs. Well, the squat that you mentioned was probably the highlight of my powerlifting career. Was knowing that I was busting my ass. It was at a national meet. I wanted to win the nationals, and I was competing against guys in wraps, and I still won, and that was an excellent feeling, knowing I did it in sleeves. So training and busting my ass to not just win, but to win with just the sleeves.
Yeah, to me, I'm always impressed by. I was fortunate enough to be able to hit one of those positions, to be on that all-time 20 list or top 10 list in your case. It is a pretty damn good feeling. Eventually you get pushed off that list, and that number will fade into the sunset. But it is pretty awesome, man. I mean, you're squatting 800 pounds with freaking a neoprene around your knees. That's something that's terrifying.
No shoes, too.
Another step closer before we go on. Dave, do you have a long-term plan for your lifting? Are you taking it year by year, or what's your outlook on that?
Well, prior to tearing my bicep tendons deadlifting, I had a goal of finally getting that 2,000 raw. That's taken
2,000 pound total, obviously. Yeah.
So it's taken quite a hit. I got a torn tendon here from deadlifting in late 2016, and then I just did this other tendon last September. So the recovery's been kind of issue trying to get back not just the strength for deadlift, but also the mental strength to pull big weight again and not snap the tendons.
I believe I've seen you pull over 700 with straps. What's the number, Dave?
I think about 715
Okay.
plus.
Yeah. So you know your body's capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Just put it all together.
It's just a matter of can my tendons hold that weight.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, hook grip life. I recommend
Practicing.
it. Yes. Okay. Anything you've learned from your training that you'd like to share with some other people? You know, specifically people that are wise enough to learn from others' trials and errors. Is there anything you'd like to share with, with anyone?
Well, mix your training up. Don't just stick with one thing all the time. I like to mix up the volume and the singles. I mean, you can't just do singles all the time. Come in and do singles. I'm a power lifter. I'm going to do 1 to 3 reps all the time. You
3 reps is completely unnecessary. I recommend sticking to 1.
You gotta hit that volume. You gotta get stronger. You gotta get conditioned, and ultimately, it's gonna help you with your 1 rep max and maximum efforts days. So just keep confusing the body. Each has its own purpose. You want to make the body stronger through the volume, but you also got to strengthen your bones, tendons, and whatnot, and nervous system through the singles.
Okay. I think that's awesome advice. Cool. Anything else you care to? That pretty much wraps up my questions for our first interview with Dave Keilman. Dave, anything you care to add to the interview, or wrap it up from here?
Well, I love your products, Corey. This stuff is some strong ass shit.
What is that,
This
Dave?
is Wake Up Motherfucker. From Squat Life by Corey, and this is an ammonia. You use it, you take quite a whiff, and right before you do a max effort lift, and it will wake you up like a motherfucker.
No, Dave, I'm actually sold out of our first batch. We have a new ammonia called Zombie Snot. You tend to prefer that one, I've noticed. Why is that?
Yeah, it really depends on the day and how I'm feeling.
And for the record, the Zombie Snot is not as hot as our Wake Up.
Right.
Wake Up is the hottest ammonia or smelling salt on the market. I can guarantee it. But anyway, you tend to prefer that Zombie Snot formula
Yeah,
now.
for training purposes, if I'm not going max effort, but I still need to little kick in the ass to wake me up and just to kind of get things going. Zombie, yeah, I absolutely love the Zombie. As opposed to this, I like to use this for my meets and for anything 95% and higher.
Okay, cool. It's good to know. Excellent. All right. Well, hey, if you are interested in buying any of the Squat Life products, we do have a website up and running, squatlifemerch.com. That was a complimentary plug from Dave. I didn't even expect him to say that, but he does use the products, so I appreciate that. That is a wrap for our first interview. I appreciate you guys watching. Please help spread the word. Dave, what's your handle on Instagram if anyone wants to follow you?
At David.the.destroyer.
Oh, you're missing your helmet, by the way. Is it nearby?
The helmet is always nearby. I have it in preparation.
All right, if we do a follow-up interview, it's going to be done with his helmet on. We'll get back to that. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. SquatLifeMerch.com if you're interested in any of our products. We've got a bunch of other interviews planned and lined up, so just stay tuned and please help spread the word. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.